back in the garage tonight, just carrying on with identifying where the oil leak has been coming from on Dipy. So I'll just show you what we've done so far. Wait, a little catch up, if I can get in there. Get the camera adjusted. Right, we've got the timing chain all off now, and got the timing plate off, which mates between the block and the timing chain and the timing chain cover. So there's the timing chain down there and the sprockets and the cover and everything. Now where we were getting the oil leak from was this point here. This, see this little dimple or this recess here? It was coming out of there. Now sometimes the gaskets would split and stay on the block. So you see it's there, that's a bit of gasket there, that's stayed on, and all this gasket. So I'll try and show you. Not the easiest of things to camera or film. So there's the old gasket on there. So you would either see a bit of gasket there, that dark, see that, where is it? There, that dark spot there, that dark spot there is where it was leaking from, which corresponds to the back plate. So this is the back plate, and the plate that you see in front of you, or the side of the plate, is where you see the rest of the gasket on. Oh, sure. So corresponding with where our oil leak was coming from is a missing gap in the gasket. So that part there, so I'll see if I can put it down. So that part there, that gap in the gasket, corresponds with the dark spot there and the missing gasket. So I'm presuming there's never been a gasket there when it's been installed, and it always would leak from that point. Plus, it's not in the straightest of shapes, this plate. So there's a bit of, you can see, roughness. It's not clean, and it's got paint all over it. Now I've been told that this plate shouldn't be painted. It should just be bare metal, for this very reason. I think we found the problem. So I'm going to have to clean all that up and clean the block face up and put it back together with new gaskets. So I think that's a win-win. Just get back on with it. Dipy's all back together now. Took her out for a test drive yesterday after putting it all back together, and we haven't got an oil leak anymore from this point, and we haven't got a coolant leak from the heater hose, the bypass hose down there. The tapping that goes into the head wasn't sealed, so that it was just threaded in, and the engine builders hadn't made any effort to seal the threads where it goes in, so that's where it was leaking from. It's not leaking there now. But what we do have, we've got another oil leak right underneath the timing plate. Where is it? There. So along this edge now, we've got a leak, and the reason is, see if I can get the camera in. There's the bolt. Can't really see it. Oh, there it is. That bolt there is too long, and the threads are actually hitting up against the side of the gearbox and not allowing the plate, the gasket and the timing chain cover to clamp together, create a seal. See if I can see it better. There, that bolt there, you can actually see the threads hitting up against the gearbox, which is there. So there's that bolt, one back there, one round the corner, that need taken out, cutting and putting back in. So the engine builders have used bolts that are too long. So I'm going to attempt to try and do it while all the bits are still in the car. Wish us luck. Right, I've just got one of the bolts out, and you can see there's the bolt. And if you place it up against there, it's actually too long, so it's always going to hit. It's always going to hit the gearbox before it even gets a chance to clamp the gasket between the timing plate and the timing chain cover. So I've got 3 to take out, shorten, and then I'll put back in. Sunday morning and we're back working on Dipy again. I've had to strip them all back out. I did put them back together and he still had an oil leak. So I've had to strip it again and find out why. So I think I found out why. I'll just show you what I've had to do to get to this point. Right. The problem again is we've got an oil leak from this area. It's around the timing chest cover and to do with this gasket. I might as well show you. Right, I've got the chest cover in the kitchen on the bench. Wife will love this. Right, this is the timing chain cover. Right, so I cleaned this all up after the original engine builders had put sealant all around here as well as the gasket. So that all had to be cleaned up and a new gasket. But we put it back together and we were still getting an oil leak, which I thought was these 2 bolts down here, which were too long. I showed you that in the previous video, but actually when I've took it all off and flipped the gasket over, you can see down there the impression that the timing cover makes when it's sealed. Well, there's no impression there between them 2. So it mustn't have been touching there, and the oil's been running down and dropping off these 2 bolts. So I got my straight edge, cleaned up the timing cover, and I'm going to put a straight edge across these 2. Yeah, there's a gap in it. And if you sit back, you can see the bend. The actual cover's bent. Excuse the shameless plug of Yorkshire tea bags. I've already had a couple today with me toast, but put that back on there. Yeah, there's a gap there. So if you put it on another spot, no gap. So I'm gonna try and straighten this edge up, and then I'm gonna have to use some sealant for the gasket. Right, I'll get it put back together. Right, I think I've got the problem fixed now. Just been in the garage. Bent this lip up. Did a bit of oil stoning, so put some oil on the stone and then basically rub it backwards and forwards across it. And it took, there was a bit of a burr around here, around there. Took them off. And see how flat it is now. Yeah, great. All I need now is some sealant, gasket sealer, and we'll put it back on. Right, back in on Dipy, and this is the 4th time I'm going to have to strip it. Again, oil leaking from the timing cover end. So I've done it that many times now, I'm going to time myself, see how quick it takes us. So the alternator off, the radiator, the fan, all the plumbing, take the starter motor off so I can lock the crank to get the bottom pulley off. So let's start again.